So we'll start off in a seated position, making yourself comfortable, maybe placing a block underneath your hips. My name's Lou, for those of you who I'm meeting for the first time. Today we're going to move through a 60-minute slow flow, starting off by arriving in your body, arriving in your mat, straightening through your spine, lifting the crown of your head towards the ceiling, and putting in an amount of effort and stability into your seated posture. And then matching that effort with softening. And softening the crown of your head, softening your gaze, maybe taking your gaze down low, or even shutting your eyes. And soften your jaw. And taking a body scan to relax any parts of tension that you might be holding. And even when you are sitting with that level of effort and stability, can you bring a soft element into how it feels? And starting to create a rhythmic breath. And even counts for inhale and exhale. How does it feel today on your mat? How are you feeling, not only in your mind, but what is your felt sense right here? Where are the feelings being felt in your body? And taking a moment to observe your internal landscape today. Drawing your awareness to any part of your body that is holding the feeling you have right now. Maybe in your belly, maybe in your gut, it might be in your shoulders. And wherever you find that focus of feeling, your felt sense that you are experiencing right now, can you greet it with softness? Can you allow it to be? And rather than gripping on really tightly and really holding and focusing on what it might be, and sometimes it can be uncomfortable, uneasy, and sometimes it's a really nice feeling. But rather than really holding on to that feeling right there, can you soften that grip and just allow whatever is here right now to just be? Observing what is there without attaching that tight grip to it. And as we move through today's flow, we'll flow with an element of softness, of gentleness, and taking moments to observe what our felt body is feeling, what our felt sense is. And it's through these moments of observation, these moments of awareness, that we can really feel what yoga is giving to us, the work that yoga is doing. And yoga is so much more than just a physical practice. It can shift and move our energetic body, our spiritual body, our mental, and our physical. We're going to move through some pranayama, some breath work, before we move into our flow. And so straightening your spine once more. Begin by taking a deep inhale for a count of 4, 3, 2, 1. Slowly exhale for a count of 8. As you exhale, not straining that breath, but allowing your breath to gently flow out of you. For 3, 2, 1. Inhale for 4. Exhale gently for 8. In for 4. And slowly allowing your breath to exhale for 8. One more round. Exhale for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And fluttering open your eyes if you shut them down. And starting to take a wide-legged forward fold. Your knees come onto the outer edges of your mat, big toes to touch, and starting to walk your hands forward, melting yourself down onto your mat. And your hips are heavy as your chest starts to press into the earth. And walking your hands over to the right. Your left hand comes on top of your right hand. And starting to feel that lateral flexion down your left side of your body, drawing your left hips down to the mat, your left hip down. And coming back to your breath. And walking your hands over to the left side of your mat. And starting to feel that lateral flexion this time in your right side body. Your right hip pressing down as you reach over to the left. And coming back through center. And walk your hands back up so that you're in a seated position. And making your way over to a tabletop position. And your hands stacked underneath your shoulders, your knees underneath your hips. And starting to take some circles with your hips. And tailbone drops. And then as you move back, tailbone lifts, belly drops. Tuck your tailbone. Lift your tailbone. And we'll take it in the other direction. And coming back to a neutral tabletop, this time moving through cat-cow, your belly drops as your chest lifts, shoulders roll back and down. Take an inhale. And draw your chin to your chest, press through your hands to dome your upper back as you empty your belly with air. Come back through to your cow, inhale. Arch your back, cat, exhale. This time on your inhale, send your hips back to child's pose. Keep it active. Maybe the palms of your hands lifted off the earth as your fingertips press into the ground. As you exhale, lift back up into your angry cat. Inhale, moving into cow, shoulders back and down, heart lifts. Exhale to cat. In, shoot your hips back, child's pose, active. And breathing out, lifting up into your cat. And one more round, take your cow. Really moving with your breath here. Exhale into cat. Inhale, child's pose. Exhale, cat. And come back to a neutral spine. Again, just making sure your knees are hip width apart underneath your hips, hands stacked underneath your shoulders. Your inner seams of your elbows rotate forward to the front of your mat. Even weight pressed through both hands, and you've got a slight pulling back of your face into the back of your head, keeping your neck nice and straight and supported. Your right toes reach out to the back of your mat, right leg straightens. Your left toes swivel to the left edge of your mat as your right heel rolls down, and you're going to come into your supported side plank. Take an inhale, reach your right arm over your head, your right leg lifts to hip height. Crunch your knee into your elbow, exhale. Extend everything back out, breathing in. And crunch into the middle, breathing out, empty your belly. One more time, extend out. And this time you're going to draw your right leg to come in front of your belly. Pause here as you make your way into your low lunge at the top of your mat. Right foot comes to meet your mat. Back knee is down. Anjanayasana, arms to the sky. As you're in your Anjanayasana, your low lunge, you've got a slight tilting down of your tailbone as you pick up of your lower abs to your belly button. Reach your arms to the sky, inhale. Bring both hands to your right knee as you exhale, empty your belly, gentle press into your knee as you take your cat position with your back. This will really start to deepen that stretch in your left front thigh, your psoas. And we're here for one more round of breath. And reach your hands back up to the sky, breathing in. And place both hands on the mat inside of your right foot. Heel toe your right foot out to the outer edge of your mat and start to sink into your low lizard. Really opening up through your hips here. Making your way into your half splits, your half Hanuman. Shoot your hips back in space as you straighten through your right leg. And just taking this to wherever feels good for your body this morning. And the back of your hamstring might be quite tight as we're starting to warm things up. And pulse back forward into your low lunge, your lizard lunge. On your exhale, shoot your hips back into your half Hanuman. 2 more times, breathing in, your heart lifts towards the front of the room. And shoot your hips back. Keep it active through your arms. Exhale. One more time, pulse forward, breathing in. Hips move back on the out. Come back into your low lizard. Tuck your left toes, lift your left knee, step back to your down dog. Your first down dog of the day. Your feet hip width apart, soft bend in your knees so you can lift your hips up to the sky, creating a beautiful, straight and strong spine. As you press your hands, all 10 fingers are spread. Lifting up onto the tips of your toes, breathing in. 1 footstep at a time, walk your way up to the top of your mat, keeping both hands firmly planted on the ground. Once you arrive, ragdoll. Shutting down your eyes, allowing your body to hang heavy over your thighs. And come back to your breath. And how are you feeling? And let go of each elbow. Start to curl yourself up to stand. And slowly, softly. And reach your arms over your head. Take an inhale. Draw your hands to heart center. Tadasana, mountain pose. And your palms by your side. Palms facing the front of the room. Feet hip width apart. And reach your arms up over your head, breathing in. Draw your hands through heart center, fold forward as you breathe out. Take a halfway lift as your spine lengthens, maybe a soft bend in your knees. Both hands press into the mat in front of you. Step back to your high plank. Pausing here for a moment. You're lifted on the balls of your feet and then pressing your heels back in space. Your glutes are active. Your belly pulling up to your spine to keep you strong. And come down to your knees. Lower all the way down to the mat. Chaturanga, arms, elbows by your side. Take your hands to the outer edges of your mat, striking cobra as you peel yourself up. Inhale. Melt and fold softly down to the earth as you exhale. And take your palms beside your ribs. Press back to your child's position just for a moment. Inhale into your belly. And part your lips and gently allow your breath to release. Come back up to your tabletop. We'll take one round of our rolling cat-cow. Take an inhale as your belly drops, your chest lifts. And exhale, draw your chin to your chest, arch your back, belly empties. Hips move back to child's position as you inhale. Exhale, take your cat. Neutral tabletop. This time your left leg moves out behind you, left leg straight and strong, toes to the back of your mat. Right heel swivels out to the right side of your mat as your left heel rolls down, peeling your left arm up to the sky. Take an inhale as you reach your left arm overhead, your left leg comes up to hip height. Exhale as you crunch your elbow into your knee. Extend everything back out, breathing in. Crunch elbow to knee on the out. One more time, extend out and hold. Reaching your left leg around the side of your mat, coming in line with your hips, and then making your way around to the top of your mat, low lunge, Anjanayasana, left heel comes to the mat, reach your arms up, breathing in. And draw both hands to your left knee and start to curl through your upper back, your middle back, starting to give you that really nice stretch in your right front hip, your psoas. And take an inhale to hold. Exhale as you maybe guide your right hip forward, starting to feel that depth in that stretch. Reach your arms up, breathing in. Place both hands on your mat, inside edge of your left foot. Heel toe your left foot out to the left side of your mat. Take your low lizard. A few moments to feel into your lizard on your left side. And take an inhale here. As you exhale, move your hips back in space, half Hanuman as you straighten through your left leg. Move yourself back into your low lizard, hips move forward, left knee bends as your chest lifts towards the front of the room, breathing in. Move your hips back in space, half Hanuman, half splits, breathing out. Pulse forward as you inhale. Moving with your breath slowly, fluidly, half Hanuman, breathing out. One more time, pulse forward, breathing in. And then move back, exhale. Coming back into your low lizard, your right toes tuck as your right knee lifts. Step back to your down dog, lightly picking up your heel and placing it to the back of your mat. Taking a pedal out with your feet, left heel drops, then maybe right. And coming to stillness. Take an inhale, lifting up onto the balls of your feet. Exhale as you start to heel toe yourself to the top of your mat. And as soon as you arrive, halfway lift. And fold in half, exhale. Root to rise, peel yourself up to stand, arms overhead. Hands to heart center. Tadasana, mountain pose. Bringing your arms by your side, palms to face the front of the room. Reach your arms over your head, inhale. Hands through heart center, fold forward. Softly melt forward. Half lift as your spine lengthens, chin slightly tucked. And both hands press into the earth. Step back to your high plank. And dropping your knees down to the mat. Keep your elbows tucked in, lower all the way down to the earth. Striking cobra as you inhale. And glute squeeze, top of your feet press into the earth, slowly lower down as you exhale. Hands beside your ribs, press back to your child's position. And take an inhale here. And gently, slowly exhale for a count of 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Lifting up into your down dog. Your right leg lifts to hip height, breathing in. Yawn your hip open as you exhale. And taking a few circles with your hip here. Keeping even weight through both hands so that your ribs are facing forward and back on your mat. In the same position they are in for down dog. Take circles the other way with your hip. And take an inhale, come back to three-legged dog. Your right leg straightens. Draw your knee to your nose as you breathe out, coming into your high plank. Extend your right leg back, breathing in. Draw your knee to your nose. This time, step all the way between your hands with your right foot. Your hips move back in space, pyramid pose. And as you inhale, can you fill yourself with air? So that as you exhale, you can soften into your pyramid. Using your breath to soften yourself and any tension that may be coming up. Coming back into your runner's lunge. Easy twist to the right. Your right hand peels up to the sky. Your left leg really straight and strong. Your thigh, the back of your knee lifting towards the ceiling. Circling your right hand towards the back of the room, coming down to the mat. Squeezing both thighs together as you pick up both hands, coming into your crescent lunge. Crescent lunge, you've got that same pulling up of your lower abs to your belly button, your tailbone slightly dropping. Take an inhale, reach your hands up high. As you exhale, slowly float your arms down beside you, taking them out wide as if they're petals falling down to the earth. Picking up your prana, your energy, fingers spread wide as you reach your arms back up to the sky. And your palms turn to face the front of the room. You're going to move into your arrowhead as your arms sweep wide in front of you. And taking your arms down beside your body. And your left heel lifted as you press into your heel. And pressing into your right heel as well, starting to lift your hips a little. Keeping your arrowhead buoyant, your shoulders rolling back and down. And flip your palms to face the earth, squeezing your pinkies together. And lifting your arms back up to the ceiling, crescent lunge, soft bend in your back knee. And twisting open to the right, your right hand drops down to the back of your mat, left arm towards the front of the mat. Keeping your hips squared and really twisting from your thoracic spine, your upper spine. Right hand moves down as your left hand moves up. Warrior two, your back heel rotates down to the mat. You're opening up to your left side. And taking a moment to sit up in your warrior two. Right knee drawing out to the right side of your mat. Adjusting the width of your warrior two so that you have room to really find depth in this position. Both hands to the sky, straighten through your front leg. Inhale. Soften down into your warrior two, being expressive with your arms. Flip your front palm, reverse your warrior, keep that bend in your front knee. Your gaze may come down to your left leg, your left toes. Coming back through warrior two. Both arms to the sky, crescent lunge, your left heel lifts. And bring both hands down to the mat. Step back to your downward dog, lifting your left thigh into your chest to avoid that scraping. Once you arrive in down dog, you have an optional flow. Option to stay in down dog or move into your high plank. Either keep your knees lifted or come into supported plank with your knees dropped, moving through chaturanga. Baby cobra or up dog. Tops of your feet press into the mat, glutes squeeze. Press back to down dog. And we'll take it on the other side. Take an inhale to prepare. Open your lips and slowly let that breath go gently, evenly. Inviting Ujjayi breath if it's there for you today. Your left leg lifts to the sky. Yawn your hip open as you exhale. Taking some rotations with your left hip. Your left knee might drop down, open up to the side, lift to the sky. Even distribution of weight through both hands. And taking those circles with your left knee the other way. And three-legged dog, take an inhale. Draw your knee to your nose as you exhale. Extend your leg back straight and strong in. Knee to nose as you breathe out. Step between both hands. Move your hips back in space, pyramid pose. And your hips are squared off here. And so your right hip is drawing forward as your left hip moving back. We're here for a few rounds of breath. As you inhale, maybe taking a halfway lift with your spine. Exhale to melt yourself forward. And can you use your breath to soften and bring a touch more gentleness into the tension you're feeling here? Bring yourself forward into your runner's lunge. Take an easy twist to the left. Your left hand peels up to the sky. This time your right leg straight and strong behind you. Lift your right back of your knee, your right thigh to the ceiling. Your left fingers moving back in space to the back of your mat, coming down beside you. as you pick up your right arm and your left crescent lunge. Take an inhale to lift yourself tall, your crown of your head high, and softly, fluidly float your arms down beside you, maybe tracing the outline of your body or allowing those petals, your petals, to float down to the earth. Arms beside your body as you spread your fingers, lifting the prana up to the ceiling. Take an inhale. Your palms face the front of the room. Your arms are going to move forward and down beside your body as you straighten through your back leg, your right leg, to come into your arrowhead. Flip your palms to face the ground and then squeeze your pinky fingers together as your shoulder blades reach toward one another. And take an inhale, reach your arms forward and up, crescent lunge, soft bend in your right knee. Take a twist to your left. Your left hand moves down to the back of your mat, right hand down to the front of your mat. You've got a squeezing in of your thighs and then a rotation of your spine here, your ribs opening up to the left. And listening carefully, we're moving into warrior two to the right. Your left hand comes down as your right hand moves up. Opening up to the right, your right heel rolls down, warrior two. Lift your warrior two up, lift both hands to the sky, straighten through your front leg, take an inhale. Melt yourself down into your warrior two, breathing out. Flip your front palm, reverse your warrior, keeping a bend in your front knee. Gaze maybe to your right foot. Coming back through warrior two. Crescent lunge, both hands to the sky, your right heel lifts. Hands to frame your foot on the mat. Pick your left knee into your chest. Step back to your down dog silently. Optional flow here, or listening to your body and staying in down dog if that's what you're needing. If you're moving through a flow, coming into your plank, lowering down through chaturanga. And cobra or up dog. And squeezing your belly to your spine as you lift your hips downward, loving dog. And dropping your knees down to the mat, taking a child's position. Maybe bringing a block underneath your forehead here, just to create that length in your neck and your spine. Knees might be together this time. And taking this opportunity to observe how your body is now feeling. Slowing down your breath. Bringing your awareness back into your felt sense. Is it starting to feel different to how you were feeling at the start of the class? We're here for a few more rounds of breath. And slowly walking yourself back up to a seated position. And reaching your arms overhead, take an inhale. Draw your hands to heart center, exhale. Interlace your fingers, press your palms forward as you take your seated cat. And reach your arms up on your inhale. Windmill your hands behind you, breathing out. One more time. Inhale, reach your hands up. Exhale, hands to heart center. Interlace your fingers. Inhale as you press your hands forward. Exhale to empty your belly, curve your spine, take your seated cat. And reaching your arms up, breathing in. Windmill your hands behind you on your out. Making your way to your down dog. And tuck your toes, lift your hips. And collective breath here, in through your nose, feel your ribs lift, the back of your heart gets light. Slowly, softly exhale. Your right leg lifts to three-legged dog, yawn your hip open. And draw your knee to your nose as you exhale. Press your leg back straight and strong on the in. And draw your knee to your nose. This time, crunch your thigh into your chest. Press through your hands to create space. Step your foot between your hands. Runner's lunge. Pyramid pose. Move your hips back in space. And take a halfway lift as you inhale. Mount yourself forward. Exhale. And one more breath here. And transfer your weight forward into your runner's lunge. Take your easy twist. Right hand peels open to the sky. Here for one round of breath. On your next inhale, rolling onto the outer blade edges of both feet. Cleopatra, reaching towards the back of the room. Lift your hips up, arm towards the front of the room. One more time, Cleopatra, sink down. Coming back to your runner's lunge, both hands to frame your front foot. And Crescent Lunge, reach both hands up to the sky. And lift up tall as you inhale. Take your expression of softness with your arms as you float them down to the earth. Delicate and gentle. And spread your fingers. Pick up your energy, your prana, reaching towards the ceiling, the sky. And feeling that energy between both hands as your palms face each other. Turning them to face the front of the room, moving into your arrowhead as you sweep your arms forward and down. Your back leg straightens, arrowhead. Flip your palms to face the mat. Shoulder blades reach towards one another as you squeeze your pinkies together. And on your next inhale, reach your arms forward, sweeping them back up, Crescent Lunge. Bend in your left knee. And take your twist to the right. Your right hand starts to drop towards the back of your mat. Left arm towards the front. And reversing this twist, your right hand coming down onto your back thigh as you reach your left arm towards the ceiling. And keeping that squeeze of your thighs, your inner thighs together. And coming back to your twist. Windmilling your arms open into warrior two. Right arm moves down, left arm up. Left heel rolls down, sinking into your right knee. And extend through your front leg. Reach your arms to the sky, breathing in. Soften, melt into your warrior two. Virabhadrasana B. Flip your palm, reverse your warrior, take an inhale. Come back through warrior two. Crescent lunge, both arms to the sky, your left heel lifts. On your next inhale, reach up, get tall. Exhale, draw your hands to heart center. Start to transfer your weight into your front foot, your right foot, as you hinge forward, gliding yourself into your warrior three. Your left toes either flointed, which is flex pointed, or toes, your foot flexed. Inner seam of your left thigh rotating up towards the ceiling. And start to hinge yourself forward, tipping your upper body down towards the earth. Standing splits, your hands come down either to your mat or just in front of your mat, keeping your hips squared. Your left leg lifts towards the ceiling. And bending through your right knee, left toes to the back of your mat. Take your runner's lunge, place your hands on the just one step forward from your right toes, and then picking your right thigh up into your torso, three-legged dog, right leg to the back of the room. Moving through your variation of a flow, maybe taking a three-legged flow, or meeting us in down dog. We'll take everything on the other side when everyone's arrived in down dog. Taking a collective inhale through your nose, feel your chest rise, your belly rise. Part your lips, allow the air to float evenly out. Your left leg lifts, take an inhale. Yawn your hip open as you exhale. Take an inhale to hold, deepen. Draw your knee to your nose as you exhale, moving your shoulders over your wrists. Left leg back straight and strong, breathing in. And draw to your knee to your nose, exhale, step between your hands, moving your hips back into your pyramid pose. Take a halfway lift, breathing in, melting down into your pyramid as you exhale and soften any tension in the back of your left hamstring. Walk yourself forward into your runner's lunge, taking your easy twist to the left. Option to drop your right knee down and really rotating your right ribs round to the left here. And take an inhale and hold. Cleopatra, both rolling onto the outer blade edges of both feet. Reach your arm towards the back of the room, your hips still lifted. Take an inhale to lift up. Pulse down as you exhale. Come back to your runner's lunge, both hands to frame your foot. Pick up your hands to the sky, crescent lunge, soft bend in your back knee. And take an inhale to get tall, lengthen through your spine. Softly, expressively float your arms down beside you. Spread your fingers, pick everything up, breathing in. Sweep your arms forward, arrowhead, as you breathe out. Rotate your hands, squeeze your shoulders together. On your next inhale, sweep your arms forward, crescent lunge, soft bend in your right knee. Opening your twist to the left this time. And reversing your twist, your left hand drops down to your right back thigh as your right arm moves up to the ceiling, to the sky. And that squeeze in of your inner thighs to hold you steady and stable. And come back to your twist. We'll move into warrior two. Left arm drops, right arm lifts, right heel rotates down to the mat. Lengthen everything up, straighten through your front leg. Softly melt into your warrior two. Flip your palm, reverse your warrior. Come back through warrior two, crescent lunge, both arms to the sky, breathing in. Draw your hands to heart center. As you inhale, starting to transfer your weight forward, gliding up into your warrior three. We're here for a few rounds of breath, finding your balance. Both hips pointing towards the earth beneath you, keeping them square. Starting to hinge yourself forward. We'll meet in standing splits. Both hands come down to the earth. Your right leg moving up in space as you keep your hips square. Toes flexed and pointing towards the ground. Generous bend in your left knee, your right toes to the back of your mat. Pressing into your hands, start to pick up your left foot, three-legged dog behind you. Moving through a three-legged flow or meeting in down dog. And slowly walk your feet forward, one foot at a time, heel, toe. Keep your hands pressed into the earth. Either taking a ragdoll or placing the palms of your hands underneath the soles of your feet and giving your wrists a little massage out. Soft bend in your knees so that your torso can really be supported by your thighs. And taking your hands out from underneath your feet. Walk your hands forward just in front of your mat. Coming back into your three-legged dog, your right leg lifts. And then drawing your right knee to the back of your left knee, you're going to come to a seat on the mat with your left leg crossed over top of your right. And we'll take a seated twist. Your right hand lifts towards the sky. And then placing your arm on your left thigh, and using that as a lever to open your twist up to the left. Maybe taking your gaze to the back of the room or over your left shoulder. Coming back to sit straight on. We'll take it on the other side, but watching carefully, you're going to bring both of your hands over to the right, your right side of your body. Press through both legs, straighten your legs, and rotate yourself all the way around to the back of your mat, the side of your mat, and you'll meet back at the front of your mat, but this time Your right knee will be over your left, crossed over your left. And lifting your left arm to the ceiling, to the sky, reach up tall. And take your twist to the right this time. Your upper arm pressing in to your right thigh, just above your knee, to give you that leverage to deepen your twist here. Releasing your twist, coming back to face the front of your room, to face me. Gomukasana, and taking a forward fold here. Your right leg staying crossed over your left, but drawing both knees to be one on top of the other. Your right knee stacked on top of your left. If it feels okay, you can start to walk your shins to be parallel with the front edge of your mat. And take an inhale to stretch your spine up tall. And then starting to walk your hands forward as you hinge yourself forward over your legs, just feeling into what's right for you here. This will be a nice juicy stretch in your hips. Wherever you are feeling tension, and can you meet that tension with awareness, observing what it feels like, and then softening how you greet it. And walking yourself back up to a seated position. Placing your hands just behind your hips, lean into your hands, your arms bend as you undo your legs, taking it on the other side. Your left leg over top of your right, knees stacked. Again, maybe walking shins forward slightly. And then folding forward, hinging forward, walking your hands towards the front of your room, the front of your mat. And what is the inner landscape of your body, your mind? What does it feel like now? Has there been a shift? And walking your hands back up to sit upright. Placing your hands behind your hips, unravel your legs, and then just taking a few window wipers with your knees dropping from side to side, releasing through your hips. There's been a possum that has left little possum poos all over the deck, which is nice. From here, you're going to slowly lower onto your back, grabbing a hold of the backs of your thighs, turning your abs on as you start to lower yourself all the way down to your mat. And give your knees a hug into your chest. And coming into a tight ball. Taking a few rocks up and down your spine. Coming back up into a seated position. We'll take a few more stretches. If you've got a block, taking the block underneath your hips, and then drawing your legs out, we'll take a seated wide-legged forward fold. So both feet are flexed. And when you're ready, starting to walk your hands forward in front of you, just taking it to a place that feels okay today. As you inhale, can you maybe lift your heart forward and up slightly? And your spine is long. And as you exhale, soften and melt into your forward fold. And press yourself back up to a seated position. Your right sole of your foot comes in to meet your left inner thigh. Twisting your torso over your left leg, reach your arms up, inhale. Hinge yourself forward as you exhale. Your left toes flexed, maybe grabbing a hold of your left foot. Walking yourself back up to a seated position. Drawing your right hand behind your hips. We'll just neutralize this out. Your left arm is going to sweep up and overhead as you press your hips forward. And coming back down to a seat on your block if you're using one, or just on the ground. Your right leg comes out long. We'll take it on the other side. Left sole of your foot into right inner seam of your thigh. Twisting yourself over your right leg. Lift yourself up, your arms up. Hinge forward as you exhale, softening into your left side stretch. And walking yourself back up to a seated position. We'll neutralize everything out on this side. Your left hand behind your hips, reaching your right arm overhead. Lift your hips and stretch it all out, really reaching towards the back here with your right arm, your right hand. And coming back down to a seated position. This time we'll actually make it onto our back. And slowly curling yourself all the way down. Taking happy baby as our final asana pose before we move into Shavasana. Grabbing a hold of the outer blade edges of both feet, or grabbing the backs of your thighs, and then drawing your thighs, your knees in towards your armpits, your thighs into the side of your ribs. As you press your feet into your hands, or the backs of your thighs into your hands, and your hands pull down. And keeping your tailbone flat on the mat. And if it's starting to lift, taking a variation of this pose. And when you're ready, making your way into Shavasana, our final pose for this class, your legs out long, your arms out wide. If you'd like to grab a blanket or a jersey to place over you, we'll be here for 5 or so minutes. As you arrive in your Shavasana, can you really allow your body to release any remaining tension. And taking a body scan from the crown of your head, softening your eyes, releasing your jaw, dropping your tongue from the roof of your mouth. And your shoulders rolling back heavy into the earth beneath you. And hips evenly weighted down on your mat, supported by the ground. Moving down through your legs, maybe your toes dropping to the outer sides of your mat. And what is your felt sense now? And how is the lay of your internal land, your internal landscape? And yoga can do so much more for us than, or can be so much more than just a physical practice. And through taking these moments to bring awareness into how we are feeling, not only how our feelings are felt mentally, but where they are felt in our body. When we take the time to observe how we are at certain points in time, like at the start of a yoga class, it gives us something to compare to after. And so, how do you feel now? Comparing to the start of this class, has anything moved internally, energetically, physically? Moving with softness, with a sense of gentleness and openness, can take so much more courage than anything else. And it's in times that things start to get hard or tension starts to build that we can have this tendency, this habitual tendency to tighten up, to really hold on, create a bit of distance, withdraw. And it's in those times that the real courage comes to bring softness into the way that we move, the way that we act and interact with others. And if we can cultivate that reaction, that tendency to meet those situations with softness, that's where we can really cultivate peace. If you would like to stay in your Shavasana, please feel free to pause this video and take as long as you need to bask in the feeling that you have created from this yoga practice. And if you're coming with me, starting to invite some movement back into your body, your fingers, your toes. And bringing your awareness into what is around you externally. And starting to lengthen your breath. And rolling over to your left side. And just pausing here for a moment before we slowly make our way up to a seated position. And pressing into the earth with your upper arm, your right hand to press you up to face the front of your mat, keeping your gaze down low or your eyes closed. And drawing your hands to your heart center. And taking a moment to give gratitude to what it is that yoga can do for you. And finding a place of sincerity to give that gratitude from. Maybe your gratitude is for giving you space from your busy life to come and arrive on your mat. Maybe your gratitude is gratitude to yourself for moving softly. Whatever it is, and taking a moment to appreciate. We close this practice by bowing our heads and saying Namaste. And thank you very much for joining me on this flow. And if you've got any questions at all, please do get in touch. Otherwise, I hope to see you soon.